Good morning, everybody. This morning's devotional reading is Matthew chapter 14, verses 1 through 21. The first 12 verses in this chapter are tough to read. They document the execution of John the Baptist. Herod makes an ill-conceived vow. Then we have a faithful daughter who follows the instructions of her vengeful mother. And the end result is John the Baptist is executed by beheading, his head then displayed on a platter. And beheadings aren't the smooth and simple things you see in the movies. They are painful, horrible, gruesome ways to die. And this is John the Baptist. He's not just anybody. John the Baptist knew who Jesus was from the very, very beginning. Elizabeth, his mother, was 6 months pregnant with John when Mary, who had just gotten pregnant, came into the room, and John leapt for joy in his mother's womb, knowing that he was in the presence of the Messiah. Neither of them were born yet. John would go on to his ministry of prophecy, where he was calling out the Pharisees and challenging the authorities, but his primary focus was to say, "Prepare ye the way of the Lord." He knew that Jesus was coming, and when Jesus' time had come, he had the privilege of being there to baptize Jesus, to see the Holy Spirit descend on Jesus. He would continue to go on to proclaim Jesus as the Messiah. Jesus loved John. When John would later find himself in prison and begin to doubt, he sent his disciples to Jesus to ask, "Are you really the right one, or should we be waiting for somebody else?" And Jesus responded to John with compassion by saying, "Tell your master that the blind are being made to see and the lame are being made to walk." And now Jesus finds of John's death. And we pick up in verse 13 where we read this. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. Jesus simply wanted to go and mourn the loss of a relative and a man whom he loved. The passage continues. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. The rest of the verses in this 21 that we're reading right now would go on to show that Jesus ended up feeding those who had followed him. 5,000 men plus women and children. So we're talking more than 10,000 people. He fed them with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. At the end of it, they gathered up leftovers that filled 12 baskets. I think the point for us is to stop and see what Jesus was experiencing and how he challenges us in light of the mission to share the good news that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Jesus was mourning. He was sad. He had lost someone he loved, and he knew that it was lost in a very, very painful and meaningless way. But that does not change the mission. The mission is still to share the love of God with the world. Now, each of us will have our bad days. Each of us will have those times where we're down and we need to mourn, and we need to. But don't forget that we still get to be a part of an amazing mission. And as we keep our eyes focused on that goal, we can find healing for our own souls as we move through the pains that go with sharing that good news. Now, I don't want to in any way diminish the importance of taking time to mourn. Jesus did exactly that. He spent lots of time with his Father alone in prayer. But we also must never forget the light that we are called to share with others. And in doing that, maintaining our focus on the sharing of God's love, we can see others heal, and we can see healing in ourselves. So let that be the focus today. No matter what might be trying to drag you down, keep focused on the mission, and let that mission of joy fill you with joy and help heal you even in your dark hours as we share the light of God's love with the world around us. Have a great day, everyone.
If these devotional videos are helpful to you, subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you know when we post a new video. And of course, please share them with others.